What's up, cooking fam? Happy New Year. We hope you guys had a great holiday. We're going to try something brand new today. My wife and I just got back from a really cool trip to Mexico where we had this Mexican pork pineapple avocado sandwich. Man, it was just phenomenal. This is the thing that we ate the most while we were out of the country. We're going to try to duplicate that here today. The biggest difference is there they actually use a roasted pork leg, which I don't have access to here. So we're just going to change it and use some country style ribs, which is a very tender piece of meat, very similar to that pork leg. We're going to braise it down and make this sandwich. Stay tuned. I think you're going to like this one. Alright, y'all, what we have here is these country style ribs. Again, I picked these up from our local Publix. We usually do these in like our slow cooker with like some black beans. It's always pretty good. So that's why we figured this would be a good choice for this dish. What I'm seasoning this meat with is just some chili lime seasoning. Actually, it's a combination of Weber's chili lime seasoning, and our local farmers market has a mojito lime seasoning, so I just kind of blended the two together for my own purposes to use for this. You'll see, or in this, it has a lot of citrusy flavors like lemon, lime. You get some good cayenne pepper, some paprika, parsley, sea salt, and things of that nature. So we'll get these seasoned up. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to smoke these for an hour on the big green egg. The big green egg is now up to 275, so we'll let these go for about an hour. And then we'll bring out the cast iron skillet and just braise them for like another hour and a half to 2 hours. That's going to create the tender meat that we're going to use for our sandwiches. So stay tuned here, all right? Alright, y'all, here we go. Here is our 4 country style ribs. Again, this is a large egg, and you can see how much room they take up on this egg. So it's a lot of meat. It'll be enough for several sandwiches that I'll probably just package up for lunch this week for work. But I wanted you guys to see that seasoning on that meat. We're using pecan wood today for smoke. And again, the big green egg is dialed in about 275. It'll creep back up to temp. But we'll come back in an hour, see what it looks like, and then we'll start the braising process. Alright, our time has passed. Here is our country style ribs. Looking really good. We're going to pull those off and get them into our cast iron skillet. So I did half of a sweet onion just to have some in the bottom there. They'll cook down as well. So we'll get as many of those ribs in as we can. Add a little bit of this chicken broth here. Just enough to kind of braise and simmer down, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. Alright, here we are. I had to leave one out, didn't have enough room for that one, but it's okay. So we're going to add some chicken broth here. Again, we want enough in there, maybe half pan, to where this just starts to braise down. Alright. That's what we have right there. The pork and the broth, got the onions on the bottom. Again, this will probably take another 2 hours or so to get this down to where we want it. But it's all good. Time makes everything better. Alright, y'all, about 45 minutes has passed, and you can see that chicken broth is starting to boil a little bit. Just what we want to do. That's how we want it to look. It's just going to tenderize that meat. It's going to make it that much better. Before I close the lid, I'm going to go ahead and flip the pieces of meat here, so everything that's been getting all that liquid at the bottom will now surface to the top. And I'm also going to add a little bit more of our mojito seasoning to the broth, so that the flavor can continue to get into the pork. But so far so good, man. I think this is going to be real good. Coming along. Alright, y'all, let's open this up. Again, 2 hours. Yeah, buddy. Look at that. That looks great. You can tell the meat is nice and tender. So what we're going to do is we're going to get these out of the skillet. We're going to put it on a cutting board, chop it up,
and that's going to be the basis of our sandwich. We're also going to have our avocado spread, which is just avocado and lime juice. We're going to use these pineapple rings and a little bit more lime on top of these nice rolls that we picked up today. So here we go. Let's put this together.
Alright, first things first, let's start with chopping this pork. And again, guys, you can see how tender it is. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort. It's just kind of falling apart. That's exactly what we want for these sandwiches. Alright, we got the chopped pork here. We pulled out some of those onions from the braised, and now it's time to plate the sandwich up. Alright, so first things first is we're going to get our bun, bottom bun, put a little coat of avocado on that thing. That avocado spread, just like that. Now let's get some of that pork, stack on that bun. Look at that. Let's get a little shot of that pork right there. Stack it up just like that. Take one of these pineapple rings, throw it on the top bun, just a little bit more of that avocado spread. Look at that. Just like that. Last but not least, some fresh lime. Squeeze it over the top. And there she is. This is our Mexican-inspired pork sandwich right here. Alright. Look at that. Beautiful. Alright, y'all. Taste test time. That's pretty good. I can't say it's exactly like the sandwich we had in Mexico, but it's damn close. That pork is really good when you braise it in that broth. Those mojito inspired flavors. Really good, man. Really good. Try this one. Again, very quick. You can also do this with pulled pork. If you got some leftover pulled pork, just braise it down a little bit. Make your sandwich. That'll be great. I didn't add the onions to my particular sandwich, my first sandwich, but for my second one, I'll throw the onions on there as well. Adds a whole nother layer of flavor. Really good, man. Really, really good. Well, guys, that was a really good sandwich. In hindsight, one of the things that I would recommend you do is after you cut up your pork is to put it back in the cast iron skillet for a minute. I'm sitting here packing my lunch for a while, and I did that, and as I started to do it, I was like, dang, that makes perfect sense. It just adds a lot more flavor, a lot more moisture to the pork. But overall, man, great sandwich, great experience in Mexico. You know, it's nothing wrong with putting your own spin to things. You know, that's what makes it cool. And I'm glad we were able to share it with you guys. So until next time, cooking with Keebler.